So let's talk about one of the other things that discourages people from setting up a trust. And I don't want us to waste any time today. Let's get to the discussion. But before we do so, my name is Yolanda Myengeza, and I'm an attorney and a director at Myengeza Attorneys. Listen, if you are new here, you better stay because we have these helpful discussions for you and any other person that you may know. Plus, if you liked this video at the end, make sure you like, subscribe, share this video so others can also get this type of information. Let's get to it. So, what is that other thing that discourages a lot of people from setting up a trust? It is the issue of costs, the setup costs and also the operational costs of a trust. What do I mean by this? So, majority of the time, before people even think about setting up a trust, one of the things that they want to understand is how much this is going to cost them and if they can afford it. Why? It is simply because many of them have been told in the past, and there's always been this narrative driven that so long as you're not rich, you don't qualify to have that trust. So a lot of people often have the skepticism that, you know what, I'm not going to afford it. So, by the time they ask, they just want you to give them a number, which is something that cannot happen in an instant. Right. I'll give you an example of what happened to a particular matter that I was dealing with. There's a lady that wanted to set up a trust 2 years ago, right? But then when she wanted to set it up, she ran this idea via a friend. Like, this is what I want to do. What's your take on it? So the friend has never had a trust before. Friend doesn't have experiences dealing with trust. They don't have any type of information, professional information when it comes to trust. However, the friend did advise and say, stay away from it. You don't qualify. You don't have that kind of money. It is for millionaires. So automatically you don't fit in that caliber. Now, because of that kind of advice, the lady then stayed away, did not set up the trust. But she says that, after having received that kind of, information from the friend, it still was lingering over her head. Can she really not qualify? Because it's something that she wanted to tap into, because when she heard about it and heard about the benefits, she wanted to tap into it. Fast forward 2 years later, we had a discussion. I said to her, let's map out what you want to do here. Let's understand where you are coming from and what you want to achieve using this trust and what you're going to place in this trust and also how it's going to operate. After that, then we did the calculation to say, this is what you can expect in terms of running costs, right? Or operational costs and also setup costs. And then, according to her, she determined that she could actually afford all of that. She doesn't understand why she was actually told that she never qualified. And she was exasperated by this because at that time she had not had her second property. But now, a year later, after speaking to the friend, she then bought a property into her own name. So now it means that she's going to have to do the transfer again. So another issue relating to this issue that we're talking about, which is regarding cost, is the fact that a lot of people tend to take inaccurate information from strangers or other people who do not understand trust or who do not understand even how they operate. And from that, they disqualify themselves, right? So in essence, how much is it to run a trust? Can we make this determination upfront? Well, the simplest answer I can give to you is that we cannot give you a determination how much your trust is going to cost you. Why? Because how a trust operates will vary from trust to trust. Other trusts, for instance, will just keep a property there. Other trusts will have so many operations, right? There's this that's being done on a yearly basis. There's probably financial statements issued. There's a lot that happens there. There's probably businesses run under that trust. Costs relating to that type of trust are not going to be the same as costs of a particular trust that probably has a property. And again, different institutions charge differently based on how you're going to operate the trust. So in order for you to really determine how much in operational costs this is going to cost you, you need to be able to sit with someone down so that they can map out exactly what you want and how you intend to operate this trust and how long it's going to last, then they can be able to give you an estimation as to how much this is going to probably cost you, and whether or not this is going to be an amount of money that has to come out of your own pocket. Because then again, with certain trusts, you don't have to foot this bill on your own accord. It will come directly from the funds that are available in the trust if there is an asset that generates income, or some way there is income in the trust. So you will never get this answer directly. A lot of people say that this should discourage you. For instance, in the comment section, somebody would ask innocently, because this is the first time they're hearing about a trust, how much does it cost? Another person would say, they will never tell you, so stay away from it because it's expensive. You don't qualify, you don't fit it. That is so wrong and inaccurate. In order for you to make a determination that you really don't qualify to really have a trust, sit down with someone to understand your circumstances and then help them, or ask them to give you a breakdown of what you should expect in terms of operational costs, right? It's the same with setup costs, right? Setting up a trust is not only attributed to only setting it up as a document or as an entity. You also, for instance, with us, we also look at how much it's going to cost you to move these properties that you're taking to the trust. So that we also say is part of the setup costs, right? Because we want you to have a clear vision. Otherwise, if we just give you an estimation of what this trust document or this entity is going to cost you, it will mean that you will still inquire and hear about other costs when you have to move all of this. So it has to be a holistic view of your particular situation. This is why you will never get a generic cost given to you, as some people would expect. You need, again, I repeat, sit down, understand what you want, map down how you want this trust to operate, when you want it to operate, how long you want it to last, and then hear from this person based on what you want. How much should you expect to pay? Then you can disqualify or qualify yourself from that particular situation, right? And again, don't forget, just because you don't afford, for example, a certain type of trust, doesn't mean that the other one, will not be suitable for you. Because remember, we've got two types of trusts here, right? You might not be able to set it up now, but you probably do have things that could enable you to have it set up when you're no longer there in the future. So you don't want to just disqualify yourself. First thing that you want to do is to understand your circumstances and hear what your options are, and then make a determination on that basis for yourself. So that was a very short conversation, but I just wanted to clarify the issue of costs. Please be back again to watch more of these discussions. My name is Yolanda Mnyangeza, and I'll see you again some other time.